The moment she declared he meant more to her than I ever could, I didn't flinch. No shouting, no pleading, no fists clenched in rage. I just stood there, still silent, unmoving, as if carved from stone. I watched the woman who once whispered dreams to me in the stillness of night now align herself with a man whose smile always lingered too long. Her eyes met mine, not with regret or sorrow, but with the dull finality of someone rereading a story they've long since finished. When she demanded I apologize to him and coldly pronounced our marriage over, something strange happened. I didn't break. A strange calm settled over me, the kind that follows a storm's last roar, a quiet resignation, not peace, but absence. 3 years of marriage, 6 years of shared laughter, shared burdens, of lives so closely woven that our habits became harmonies. We had created something that, while imperfect, felt real. A life like a melody, sometimes discordant, yes, but in rhythm. I believed in her joy. I believed in us. And then he appeared, her so-called best friend, the man with embraces that lasted just a second too long, the one whose eyes, when she spoke, never looked at hers, but always drifted downward, drawn to her mouth like a moth to flame. I saw it. I saw all of it. But I stayed quiet. I didn't want to become the jealous husband, suspicious and petty. Still, the air between us began to rot with quiet betrayals. It wasn't a single moment that shattered everything. It was erosion, a slow crumble, small, accumulating fractures that no one else could see. The laptop that clicked shut whenever I walked into the room. Late-night text conversations cloaked behind new passwords. The message I glimpsed once by accident. You're my haven. Always. A new passcode on her phone. She didn't bother to explain. A matching bracelet she dismissed as harmless. A hotel charge that he labeled a clerical mistake. I never confronted her. Never demanded the truth. Instead, I swallowed every slight, every whispered lie. I carried each one in silence, naming the wounds of myself, one by one, like counting stars on a night sky that once felt infinite, but now only reminded me how dark it had become. The breaking point hit, like a thunderclap during a fierce argument that quickly spiraled into a brutal confrontation. I locked eyes with him, and there it was, the unmistakable smirk of a man who already believed he had won. She's chosen me, he sneered, and without hesitation. She stood firmly by his side, as if I were a stranger in the story of my own life. That night, I walked away from everything. The house, the keys, the memories. I gave her silence for 4 long days, disappearing into a void while her calls, texts, and even tears pressed against my door. Silence has a voice of its own, and as she unraveled, I descended deeper into the truth. A friend at her bank quietly tipped me off. She had been siphoning money for months, nearly $12,000 funneled into a secret account. It was a carefully plotted exit strategy, but she never expected I'd be the one to walk away. I let the whispers of mutual friends paint me as paranoid, unhinged, maybe even bitter. Their misjudgments became my unexpected advantage. His name, Jason, stung like poison. He was a real estate agent with a serpent's tongue who'd already cost me thousands years ago with forged documents during a property deal. I'd reported him then, quietly ending his career, and he never once suspected it was me. Yet here he was again, living in my home, sharing my bed, stealing the life I built. This wasn't just infidelity. This was an old enemy resurfacing. I started with leverage. Her bank account was a window into their deception. Her usual password, Melody04, hadn't changed. I tracked every transfer, every message, and meticulously compiled a digital dossier. Then I called Fidelity. Next, I turned to him. Through a contact in property law, I discovered Jason was back at his old con. Fraudulent listings, inflated values, fake buyers. I caught him red-handed, recorded every word. I sent the evidence to his past victims and the licensing board. By the 4th day, she was on my doorstep, desperate to talk. I let her in, listened, even offered comfort, but then I handed her the file. As her eyes scanned the proof, her face paled. I told her I wouldn't ruin her, but the price was silence, no alimony, no demands, just a clean break. She nodded, defeated, and left. Jason called soon after, his voice booming with threats. I agreed to meet at a diner, a neutral ground. He arrived cocky. I came prepared. I slid across a flash drive filled with a dozen cases of fraud, victim testimonies, forged records. You'll be lucky to sell used chairs when this gets out, I told him, his face drained of color. I leaned in close and whispered, she was never yours, just a sparkler, burning you for light. Then I walked away. No more words, no backward glances. 6 months later, she's living with her sister. Jason's license is revoked. Again. Rumor has it, they've parted ways. People ask why I seem so composed, why I don't rage or break down. But vengeance isn't born from anger. It thrives in clarity. I found that clarity the moment she said, he means more. She was right. He did mean more to her. To me, he was nothing, just a shadow passing through.